Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone is okay. In today's episode, I want to talk about a novel that is deeply moving and intellectually powerful. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This is not an easy novel to read emotionally, but I think it's an essential one, especially when we think about questions of race, identity, and voice. At the center of the novel is Pecola Breedlove, a young black girl who believes that having blue eyes would make her beautiful, loved, and accepted. And that desire for blue eyes is not just about appearance, it reflects something much deeper. It reflects how dominant cultural standards of beauty, particularly white beauty ideals, shape how individuals see themselves. From a critical perspective, we can say that Morrison is exposing the internalization of racism. Pecola doesn't simply experience racism from the outside. She begins to believe in it. She starts to see herself through a lens that tells her she is not enough, not beautiful, not worthy. And I think this is one of the most painful aspects of the novel. Because the violence here is not a physical or social, it is also psychological. Morrison shows us how identity can be shaped and damaged by the narratives a society produces. Another important element in the novel is voice. Who gets to speak? Whose story is told? And how is it told? Interestingly, Pecola herself doesn't have a strong narrative voice in the novel. Instead, her story is often told through others, especially Claudia, who becomes a kind of witness. Claudia's voice is very important because she resists in her own way the dominant beauty standards. As a child, she questions why white dolls are considered beautiful. She doesn't immediately accept these imposed ideals. So, through Claudia, Morrison offers an alternative perspective, a voice that is still critical, still questioning. From a more academic perspective, we can also think about how Morrison uses narrative strategy. The novel is fragmented, non-linear, and layered. Different voices, different perspectives, different moments in time come together to form a complex picture. This fragmentation reflects the instability of identity itself. It also reflects the difficulty of telling a story that involves trauma. Because trauma is not always linear. It doesn't follow a clear beginning, middle, and end. And I think Morrison is very intentional in this. She is not just telling a story, she is also questioning how stories are told. Another thing that deeply affects me when I read this novel is how Morrison connects individual experience with broader social structures. Pecos' story is not isolated. It is shaped by family, community, history, and systemic racism. So when we ask who is Pecola, I'm sorry about pronunciation. We also have to ask what kind of world produces these experiences. And I think that's where the novel becomes not only literary but also political and ethical. It asks us to reflect on the power of representation, who defines beauty, who defines value, and what happens to those who are excluded from these definitions. For me, The Bluest Eye is the novel that stays with you. It is painful but also necessary because it forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about race, identity, and the ways in which society shapes the self. So, I would love to hear your thoughts. Now, have you read The Bluest Eye? How did you respond to Pecco's story? And thank you so much for watching me today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!